Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Dang.
We're not ready yet.
We're not ready yet. We got to warm it up.
My fucking mic ever worked, Jared? There we go. I got it.
I had to be in that one last time.
I know. I don't know why we can't fix mics around
because
here.
we're on a budget still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is still a beta test to see if people even like this show.
It seems to be going pretty well so far.
I like how I can't see you too.
Yeah, I know. We need to do something about these arms. And I like that Jared looks like Wayne Grove from the movie Heat right now.
No.
One of the...
There's no way. He doesn't look like Wayne Grove.
I feel
Yes,
like
he does.
You
He's
look
got a
like
Fu Manchu
Pablo
and crazy wild
Escobar's
hair.
fat stepbrother.
No.
His stepbrother wasn't that fat. What?
He looks like a Portuguese Pablo Escobar.
I like that.
That's fair.
You know?
Portuguese Pablo. That's a good rap
Like a
name.
poor man's Pablo Escobar.
Who
That's the way he
makes
looks.
like really horrible fashion decisions. And
Horrible.
What are you talking about? This
We're
is
in
fashionable.
2 different colored shoes and
Yeah, you're going for
It's
it.
red,
Yeah.
white, and blue. I am American today. Thank you
Oh.
very much.
You
Yeah.
did kind of steal that from me. I used
Did
to do
you?
the
Did you?
Chucks. No, not the multicolored Chucks because I called you a CrossFitter because when you wear
Yeah.
the socks. But it's a cool outfit. I dig it actually.
Thank you.
I support this.
I like these pants. We've got some new pants on the way from Cry, by the way.
You'll get a
Oh,
kick
yeah?
out of this, Evan and Logan. This morning, I actually went for a walk because I do that sometimes with my little weighted, shit on. And I texted Jared after and I was like, did you go on your walk? Because he was
I've
all
been going
bragging
on
about
walks.
walking yesterday. And he walked around the kitchen table and then opened the microwave and there was like taquitos in there.
Hot stickers.
Hot stickers at 9 a.m.
just doing laps around your kitchen island. That's
It
your
made me
walk.
laugh, though. Thank
he
you.
sent me the thing of his feet walking. He was like, did you go
Right.
on your walk this morning? So I responded with, you see my feet? And then I go up to the microwave as it's ending and I pull out the pot stickers.
Solid. Well, we have reality television tonight. I'm excited for that. At
This is
8 p.m. our time, presidential debates. You excited?
Yeah, we'll see if Biden can string together some sentences.
I think they're
It'll be
going
great.
to fill both of these elderly old men full of like vitamin B and niacin and just like methamphetamine,
hop
whatever the
them up.
fuck they got. They're like, we just got to get these dudes in.
Do you think that's a thing? I mean, they got to be giving some booster shots. to
I
Biden.
do. I think they're
Some
probably
B12,
doing like,
some like fucking
Exactly.
injection Adderall, some like, like
Yeah.
nicotine
So-
fucking dispenser in the brain.
seriously.
What do you think the tactic is going to be? Because Trump notoriously just ignores the moderator and will go after
Yeah.
like he won't even answer the fucking moderator questions. How do you think this is going to open up?
Well, I think we have a really good playbook from the previous debates. So the Hillary debates, I was actually watching some of the debates
Yeah.
last week or the week before where Hillary was just taking it. It was if this was a fist fight or a boxing match, she was just taking him on the chin, just getting worked. And it's interesting because I think their tactic from Biden's perspective is he knows that Trump is a wild card, right? He could be saying some wild and crazy things, He's going to have some taglines and some sound bites that are prepared for some crazy shit. So now getting Biden to actually memorize something without a teleprompter could be an issue. Okay, let's see between the two elderly men. Let's get it there. It's an Oxford debate.
Let's take bets on this. And I know the salvation and our country is at stake, but let's just put that aside for pure entertainment purposes since this is a fucking podcast.
Right.
What do you think like the outcome is going to be? I think that Trump's just going to fucking light him up and he's going to eventually crumble and say some real dumb shit. Like how we said before, like, you're not black if you don't vote for me. And you'll be like, what? This is the most racist shit I've ever heard in my life. I feel like he's going to slip up and say something dumb.
Or do you think their tactic is to make Trump look like a bully? Because I saw something pretty fucking amazing yesterday on Facebook from like I've been saying, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. A lot of my friends have lost their fucking minds. And this girl I went to high school with literally made a post yesterday that said, don't you think it's inappropriate that Trump calls Biden slow Joe and he's making fun of a guy that has a disability? And I'm like, you realize that guy with your disability that you're talking about is running for president, gunning for the fucking nuclear button, you dumb motherfucker.
I love that. You don't even say running for president, you're running for the nuclear button.
That's what I said.
It's fucking
he's
true.
going to command a nuclear arsenal, the largest one in the world, and you're worried about a guy being mean? Shut the fuck up.
Right, he's just going to get Doritos, like after his B12 shot runs off, he goes, oh, what's the red button? Forgot that. Fucking nuke Russia.
Like that is the boss level. She has achieved the final level of social justice warrior.
Where we're going to promote a president and put them into the highest seat in the land to run the country because they have a disability. They have a mental disability.
We need
Good idea.
There should be like, I get these social justice warriors, but there should be absolute like portions of society that there should like, if you're running for president, you better be the toughest motherfucker out there. Like you're going to pick Trump, say Trump's bullying Biden. Biden's got to go meet the fucking dude in Russia and China.
He'll never be able to do
China.
that.
He's got to be like on his fucking game. Like this is,
you can't be a piece of shit like just passive pullover. Like otherwise every other country is going to see this as
over you.
Let's slide something.
It's not a thing.
Yeah.
He can't,
we know who
he
Putin
can't leave
wants
his
to win.
He can't leave his house after 10 a.m. in the morning right now. He's locked himself in the basement of his own home. He's not out campaigning. He's not taking interviews. This country is so naive to think that Biden is going to be the president, right?
No, it's Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Harris is going to be the president.
Where if you said that, I think we were talking about that in the car. If you said that, 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, someone had been like, oh, bullshit. But like, I think that's the play. I think get Biden in there and then they say, hey, you're unfit for, duty service. I don't know the correct term. And then like, Kamala Harris jumps right in.
Nancy is losing her fucking mind. Did you see her hard reset last week?
Yeah, but they're all
good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Like, why aren't people fired immediately? Like, why aren't we as citizens going, hey, maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't be in charge anymore?
No, because there's another half of the country that believes in this shit. They believe in they believe in all of this. They believe in the woke cancer culture, cancer culture. They believe in all of it. They believe in all of this, and then we all have to pretend to be in the same fairy tale land that they live in. Or if we don't pretend
then we're racist.
Then we're racist.
Yeah. Okay. Transphobic. No. I'm not afraid of anybody that's trans.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not afraid of a lot of things. I don't know if they saw the last episode, but my junk was out the whole entire thing. So
junk on the podcast?
You get one episode of me and Jeans, Free Range American podcast, and I'm going right back to Grundle Hawaiian shorts. They're showing off the pork and beans. Okay,
Grundle Hawaiian shorts.
We're talking, let's talk about this geisha for a minute. It's already
sold
out.
Little dictator geisha
went pretty quick.
It's good.
Boom. Done. DUN.
Tasty.
Yeah,
tasty.
It was very, very tasty. It took us a long time. When we first started working on this design, I thought it was spectacular. It was one of, I think, my best designs that I've done so far. Then, well, no, at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, at that point, I was really excited about the design. So we had to backfill it with the right coffee. So when we were in Guatemala and we found the geisha down there, we were done. And I think the funny part of this is just me trolling the entire coffee industry because it's geisha. It's an Ethiopian strain of an Arabica coffee. So it has nothing to do with Central or South America. It has nothing to do with a geisha or Japan or any of these things, but people mispronounce it and spell it all the time. It's Gesha. It's not geisha, but it's pronounced differently because it's actually Amharic from Ethiopia. I know all of this, but that's why I designed the shirt the way that I designed it with the rising sun in the background.
The first time I was like, I don't get the dictator.
There's a lot going on in there. It's because it's the rising sun, right? The Japanese 1940s era flag with the Panamanian dictator, because that's where some of the finest geishas are actually grown. And then the the geisha that's in the dictator outfit. For me,
there's a lot of different countries and cultures merged in one over here.
No, it's fucking ludicrous. And I know that it's fucking ludicrous.
The most un-PC thing on the fucking planet.
It's so stupid. But it's an amazing coffee. So, but that's the whole thing with the coffee industry, is that they take themselves so seriously. Everyone is woke and everyone is so woke that they're just trying to outwoke each other. It's just outwoke one another all day long. Like, no, I support BLM, trans, Count Dracula, C-3PO. Like, I'm going to do that, right? And that's what I'm going to support. Whereas we're just going the opposite direction, going, we're going to make some crazy ass dictator geisha.
We're going to make some good Japanese coffee, say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah. I have to say, favorite right now, my favorite all-time art right now, he gets the gold for that one.
Which one?
Fuck off.
I like the pink flamingo. I think that flamingo is fucking awesome.
You're fucking treading on thin ice.
That bag is a good bag.
My new favorite bag might be not even a bag, but a van.
Like
a van and the
sweet van.
We don't want to give too much away in the podcast. There's a lot of good ones. I got 2 or 3 designs.
That Christmas design's pretty good too.
Thank you.
Solid work there.
Yep.
Little play on old Santa Claus coming this December.
That's
pretty excited about that.
I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to say this as a partner in this company. I'm going to require to be in charge of the Christmas roast every year because I've had it 4 years in a row now.
I don't disagree with that.
Because we did the AR twice in a row, the bag design at least, switch coffee, and then we went to Christmas tree with the guns, and then this year is the Santa one.
I don't disagree with that. You're good at it.
Got it.
I would
You're
like
good at it.
to take charge.
You're better at it.
Corporation's finances.
No,
absolutely not.
No. But I mean,
I will give you.
Wait. This is really funny, Jared. I got to call you on the podcast. I love you so much. Jared calls me and goes, "Is said individual?" We can say his first name, Robert. He's like, "Is he still the CFO?" And I was like, "What? What do you?" Wasn't CFO. He was,
never
in finance. But so I had to walk him through that. But it was good. He forgot the CFO after. Yep.
It's never been the CFO.
I called the right person to ask the question.
Yeah.
True. And then I called you.
Because you would make fun of me.
Hey, so congratulations goes out to Logan Stark, officially partner of Black Rifle Coffee as of last week. Holy shit,
like
buddy.
A law firm. You sucked enough penises to get partnered.
Yeah. Sweat equity. You're
the definition of it.
But here's the funny thing is we were talking about this, which is how long have you worked for Black Rifle?
It's 5 now, like
6
months after the first sale.
Is when we met you.
Yeah. So there's been people that have worked for the company and they've come in and they're like, well, Evan promised me equity. And then when they leave, they're like, well, I didn't get any equity. And they're all fucking butthurt. And I'm like, yeah, it takes a long time for you to earn equity in a company. You have to earn your equity. It takes years. And then there's documents that have to be signed. It's a big process. Board approval. And for years, Logan has worked with us as not only a subordinate, but then more of a peer in the last couple of years. So if there's anybody that deserves equity in the company right now, it is Logan from like OG status from the beginning till now. And that happened. I tried really hard. So what I tried to do with this, you guys will appreciate this, is I held on to his paperwork for several weeks. So when his elk hunt was going down, what I wanted was to be able to, when he killed his elk, be able to go, and here's your paperwork. It makes everything official, to try to create the best day of his life.
But then what you did was you made him drive all the way back to Salt Lake to hit a deadline to sign it, turn right around, drive back to the mountains, and then kill an elk. But you got it.
You were 24 hours off.
What's that?
You were 24 hours off.
I was 24 hours
but
off.
You still got it. It was just a day late.
That is a cool day.
We were trying to bring you the good juju. We went up there and spotted for you. We can talk about that a little bit. You got a crazy cool bull.
I should have gone to Salt Lake.
You should have, yeah.
No one told me to. I was supposed to be camp supervisor.
Not at that camp. That's a different camp. Oh. I don't know.
No, I invited Matt and I said we could invite JT, and he was like, yeah, I'll call him. So
my service was out that day.
Definitely. I definitely want to go on the next coffee trip because I've been watching the Guatemala coffee or die thing and it looks so fun. I want to do that.
You went on one. You went on the first one.
I know, but nobody came. It was me and him.
Jared, but that's what I really like about, especially Logan being a partner now, is now that he feels less guilty about spending the company's money with Evan to go on vacations and fish and hunt elk while we're back here fucking running a business. But, I'm just thankful for
I've been running the business.
Well, you've been walking the business.
This is a lifestyle brand, so it's very important that
I'm
we
just
do
kidding. I will say,
I guess if there's is there an avatar on Call of Duty called like Business Guy?
Yeah. It's also called maybe I'm hosting the Activision veteran code bowl for nonprofit.
Whoa,
being a part of it at least.
Somebody got a big boy host job.
I will say though, since we're all talking shit, but it is funny because like I've even had people at face value, they see people hunting, but there is some amazing biz dev that came out of those trips, and there's some really cool things in the work that would have never happened. So good job on that.
Absent of just if there was no biz dev, to see his demeanor change after having about a month of doing shit that he wanted to do, after 6 straight years of fucking just getting beat the fuck up. Like, this is great. I like this version.
I like this.
He calls me to tell me stupid ideas again. I love that.
Right.
Instead of yelling.
I still yell quite a bit. I yelled at Dan this morning, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, but that's normal.
Well, yeah, but you should yell at Dan every day. He just deserves it.
I think the big thing with it's building the ecosystem of the company or the culture of the company around doing hard shit. There's hard shit that people can do. Obviously, you can search those things out. And they have all these executive camps where you can go out and do like trust falls and learn how to fucking go across an obstacle course together. You can go, get your feelings hurt together, whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
that's a little lackluster for BRC. We need to up the game, as we've been talking about.
Or you can get hunts for your managers and your executives, and you can take them rifles. You take them, and that's what I did with our VP of finance and a couple of other guys that have never harvested an animal or done difficult things, I should say, physically difficult, where I think it's a good thing for us to put these things back into the DNA of the company where we give rifles. For instance, we bought our employees Noveski rifles. So a lot of people don't really know what it's like to work here at Black Rifle Coffee.
Transformed through a legal FFL.
Yeah, so we bought a bunch of Noveski rifles. We still are giving them to employees for bonuses. So, and that comes with, Pelican case, grinders, coffee that we roasted like 2 years ago. This watch that I'm wearing, the watch that Logan's wearing, these Aries watches are built by a former CIA guy that I knew back in the day. We got a couple hundred of those. We put them back into the company. As far as the company is concerned, and then building the right ecosystem and DNA around what kind of incentive programs that we're designing for people and how we develop our leadership and our management, I think we're getting closer. And when I say that, it's not just about the watches and the guns or the bows. We bought a bunch of Black Rifle Coffee specific bows for employees.
PSCs
carbon fiber.
Those are awesome.
Or
PSC
the
bows.
custom Soar Next gym that is now in Salt Lake City.
There are some, and this is the thing where I will say this very pointedly, which is our methodology in business has always been to put more money back into the company and build the company for the employees and build something that will last versus
it's
trying to cash out, do a cash grab bullshit.
Right. Flash in the pan. You see a lot of businesses do that. They have a 3 to 5 year shelf life and they die. Because their CEOs are concerned, or their founders, their CEOs are more concerned with what does the company do for me versus what can I do for the company. And that's the kind of the JFK thing that I was talking about with a couple guys this morning. He said, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. So if you're getting up every day and you're saying, how do I create value in the company? How do I create a better ecosystem? How do I
maintain positivity and that positive direction. One, you have to cut the fucking toxic shit out of your life, right? So not to go on some type of weird diatribe, I guess I am. Everybody's falling asleep, but
No,
you have to cut the toxic people out of your life, promote and put people in the company and make them partners that continue to create value, and they understand the true value of teamwork, the true value of sacrifice, because there's literally nobody here that hasn't sacrificed for the company over the years and years of, whether that's compensation, whether that's nights, weekends, holidays, like all of the things that go into making a business. We make it look fun, and it is, because it is a lifestyle brand, but it's a lot of fucking work. And there are a lot of people out there that think that there's the shortcuts, right? The shortcuts, like, oh, I'm just going to get fucking rich
that's
and
the
famous.
difference. I think you want to create culturally a company, that's at least in my mind, where people are proud to hang their hat in hard work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too many companies are the shortcuts. How do I just get what I want, compensation, bonus, and then take the easy road? It's like, you want people that are like, oh, that's great and I earned it, but then they can really go, man, I fucking accomplished something that's sustainable and long-term. And then people are, a part of the brand, not just buying from the brand, but when they wear a Black Rifle shirt or they buy the coffee, they're like, I feel a part of this giant family. And that's a very hard thing to do. And it's a testament to the customers that have supported over the years, really.
A big piece of that too is also having partners with aligned strategic vision. Like I was telling him the other day, I still remember this. It was like December 11th, 2016. I was in the fucking Sugar House McDonald's drive-thru, and you guys called me on three-way, and he was like, we had never been paid from Black Rifle up to that point. And he was like, hey, before Christmas, we could all take a big check, or we can buy a coffee roaster. We're like, let's buy the roaster.
It was like, it would work out to like $10,000 a piece back in the day, right? That's the way it would have worked out, which was a ton of fucking money. It is still a ton of money, but
no. Sports.
yeah, we
like,
all collectively were
hey,
like,
let's buy a coffee. But if you
unanimous
don't
decision
have that,
we're buying a roaster, bro. Fuck yeah, we're getting a roaster.
But if you don't have that, like if you have one partner or two partners, or somebody else is their strategic vision is for themselves and not the company, then that's going to eventually be its demise.
It's the mission versus me's all the time, right? And I continue to talk about these mission me's because I know that at the agency, the people I fucking hated, whether it was at the agency or whether it was in SF, it was the people that were me first. Me. When is my fucking Halo slot? When is my scuba slot? When is my fucking this slot? When is this? And it was, who do I have to step on to get promoted here? What kind of trip do I have to do into a hard spot where I really don't have to fucking do anything? But then that will give me the accolades to get promoted. I was having this conversation with a couple guys I worked with at the agency a few weeks ago. We were talking about the guys that had actually been decorated for not doing jack or shit because it works the same way. It was the contractors out doing the fucking hard work, and then other guys getting these medals for shit that they didn't do anything for. And I think in any organization, you're going to have the people that disguise themselves as, oh, I'm a mission first guys. And that what'll happen is after a couple of years, they can't keep that facade up for very long. They can't do it. Sometimes they can hide for a couple of years, but then eventually they show themselves. How many times have we seen this happen in the last 5 years where those me first motherfuckers can put on a show for us for a couple of years, and then eventually their ugly shit is just exposed, and we're like, oh, well, we're just going to go over here and we're going to do some other shit now
keep working.
And that's what we do. And And more importantly, if there's a bunch of me guys that want to do shit together, it's just a better fit. I like to say that too, where marriages get, 55% or something like that, end up in divorce. It's impossible for that many bad people.
70.
So we'll just say 70. It's impossible for there to be 70% of bad people. Just that a lot of marriages they're just not meant to be. Doesn't mean that both people are bad. It means that they're just bad together. Businesses are the same way.
Yeah, it's mission alignment. I think that you have to have the same end goal, because there's nothing wrong if some people want to create a business and cash grab for 2 or 3 years and then bounce out and do something else. Like, that's fine. That's their journey. They can do whatever they want. But yeah, it's just mission alignment, having the partners. I mean, I think all of us have had other endeavors and walked away from business partners and done this. And it doesn't mean they're bad people. It just meant we weren't mission in line to what we wanted to do. I want something sustainable and something I can do for the rest of my life that I can hang my hat on, not just like cash out some money and be like, okay, let's try to do something else. It's just not me, right?
Yeah, there is that like perfect symbiosis between getting what you want out of something and then serving the higher, greater thing of whatever you're doing. And to tie my time in to Black Rifle into kind of my service, like the thing that, if I had to define like what kind of has allowed me to be successful here is like this constant evolution and the confidence to be able to do that, right? Like when you look at kind of where we hang a big part of our heads, like this social media content sphere, right? We always say that this is also a media company, but like how fast does social media change, content evolve, and you have to have the ability to adapt through it and be able to figure out how you can improve in order to serve the larger thing to its greatest capacity. I only did just over 4 years in the Marine Corps, but it was that time getting in and then going on to the next thing, getting schools under your belt, evolving as a leader so that you can serve the greater thing in a better capacity. And you got to figure out what that perfect merger is so that it is a very balanced equation.
Well, it's a nice kind of climate too, because the leadership and the board in this company is a yes based. Like if you present a good plan, you're going to get approved. So the opportunity just exists.
Yeah, because it's run by NCOs. That's why.
It's not a no.
Tom's on the board. He's an officer, but we'll give him a pass.
We don't
What's
know
that?
I mean, Tom's on the board, but we'll give him a pass. He was an officer,
Yeah,
but he was an officer in the 80s. Like, I think those were different times.
Back when it was hard.
Back when it was
he had to walk through the barracks uphill both ways.
Yeah.
It's true though. Well, after that whole what was it? No shark attacks that Rich was telling me. I'm starting to believe the whole it used to be harder thing.
Oh,
what are you talking about?
Right, yeah.
I'll
let him
Angry
explain.
Cops. He was telling us about last show that we did with him about they don't allow shark attacks anymore, which
training.
is a drill instructor terminology for
It's when they get off the bus.
3 or 4
They
drill
don't allow that
sergeants get in
anymore?
your face and they're like
The
trying to
sergeant
create
major
stress
at the
and
infantry school has said,
yeah,
we're going to approach
What?
this at a better.
yeah.
What?
Dude,
It was a wild
don't even
conversation.
You
Listen
can't
to the
get
podcast.
yelled at by like more than one drill instructor
It's
at a time.
something about that as far as like there's different means to like, do
Train
this.
a person.
And we went in the whole
Maybe. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think there are a lot of ways. I was discussing this same thing with, I think, maybe Andy or somebody about, there are a lot of things within military training where they're very physically detrimental, right? So sleep deprivation, that the long-term health effects of sleep deprivation are fucking really, they exist, and it is proven. So how do we get the same results without pushing people, 3, 4?
But I disagree in the nature of would you rather have a little bit of lifetime impact on your body when you volunteered for a combat mission, or would you rather accept that and then live in combat because you were under a stress-induced situation and or a vetting process that goes, this guy breaks under any sense of stress or he's hungry and he just quits, then Doesn't mean you're a bad guy, just like the marriage analogy earlier. It just means you shouldn't be on a soft team, man.
I mean,
go be a fucking epic IT guy. Go fucking help the mission, but you're just not the dude that's going to be on the ground rucking 18 miles because the mission requires so much out of you mentally and physically that there has to be some form of vetting process that's absolutely applicable to that mission. If not, then you're teeing up guys and gals for absolute failure. That's my opinion on it. I think that there has to be massive stress induced in high level organizations.
I don't disagree with that. I think there are ways that you can get the same desired outcome. So what I'm referring to is it's weeks on end of sleep deprivation with, we'll call it, meals ready to eat. And then, and then the stress is fine because that's something you have to do. And then, couple that or dovetail that with your anti-inflammatories that are nuking all your good gut biome and all these things. So I think the long-term health effects of going through a lot of the things that we've done in our lives that we take for granted, that, for instance, is, I just found out that I have this gut problem, after 43 years, and I've had this gut problem for I don't know how long, that it affects my sleep, it affects my mental health, it affects my physical health. You know why? Because I fucking nuked my gut for years on end going overseas. And then, massive amounts of fucking ibuprofen, sleep deprivation, shitty food. If we're going to do that, I don't have a problem with it. I think that there has to be the post effects of this. We have to come out of this and say, okay, but we're going to fix you when you're broken, or we're going to find a different way. So if the shark attack thing, if that's, hey, we're just not going to do that anymore. Okay, but what are we going to replace it with? Because it's called stress inoculation, and we have to come up with something. It's like, maybe there's a different method where we can put people into a situation where there's actually higher amounts of stress than 3 people. I know that didn't stress me out. Did it stress you guys out that people yelling at you? It's like, they can't fucking punch you in the face.
I got yelled at because I would smirk when I got yelled at because I thought it was silly. I was like, you can't punch me. Like, you're silly.
Well,
You're
some
silly.
people
It's like,
couldn't
oh
handle
my gosh,
that.
you're yelling at me.
Yeah, it's just a first round or first layer of, the Air Force is doing a good job right now.
And not stressing people out.
No,
okay, here's your stationary bike. You have to ride it a half hour per half mile to pass the Air Force
Today's test
physical.
is driving a car
With
without
a
air conditioning.
With
What?
a helmet.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it's fucking 74 degrees.
They've put in place a prep course before you go to an Air Force Special Warfare career field, and that includes psych evals and things like that.
Yeah.
But now the pass rates are up because they're finding the right people in the beginning. I
think that's smart, right? I think that, again, like, the world is hyper diverse, which means there's jobs that, like, I'm a dumb motherfucker, which is why I made a great ranger, not because rangers are dumb, but I was just like, I can ruck for 20 miles and not think about it because I'm singing songs in my head and dreaming about the stars, where someone, I couldn't do a different position, maybe like an IT position, because I'm not as, cognitively able to sit and work fucking
focus.
Yeah, focus. I got fucking ADD like every second of my life.
I want to
be real.
Eating.
But your point too, I think that's the good aspect. And I think that's why, our involvement in the community post-service is so important with the company specifically, and our individual kind of things that we've done, is that a lot of guys have done the stress. Like, imagine the stress that we put on our bodies and then times that by 3, like some of these other guys and gals have done for 25 years and then tier 1 units. Like, there has to be a mechanism and a system to individually treat and diagnose these guys and gals with what the fuck happened to them during that service record, because you can't just go, here's the VA to a lot of those guys. Like, there has to be some better function to diagnose and treat the visceral issues that they have. We're not talking my knees hurt, but the gut health, the cognitive function, the TBI, the CTE, your blood works funky. Like, it's a part of doing that shit for so many years. And I think that's something that the DOD has to critically think about, is the post-service aspect, specifically related to the people that went on 15, 16 deployments and, beat the fuck out of their bodies.
Well, I was thinking about this today as I was running. And I was thinking about we have a problem, right? We have a sickness. And I say this like I love this country, but our politicians and we have an addiction to war. Like we do have an addiction to war. We have to have one. You know, presidents have to have them. They want to be wartime presidents. The military industrial complex, you know, the largest transference of wealth in modern history was from the taxpayer to the military industrial complex in our lifetime. It wasn't bailing out the banks. It wasn't COVID. It was the movement from the taxpayer dollars into the military industrial complex. I know you guys might disagree on some of this, but I don't have a problem with a war. Everybody knows I'm not a fucking pacifist. Like I'm not at all. I think there are smart wars that we have to get in as far as protecting the sovereignty of the nation and making sure that we maintain the America's position within the international community. I think that's a good thing for us to have. But I also think long-term wars of occupation are a waste of fucking money. I think it's more of an exercise of draining the taxpayer dollars. And the other issue that I have is probably the bigger issue is that we have more than enough money to fund large-scale invasions and then occupations in Central Asia and in the Middle East, so Afghanistan, Iraq. But post-service, it's almost like they tell us to fuck off.
Yeah,
and it pisses me off because there should be funding and research done into the burn pits. We should be allocating millions and millions of dollars.
There's nonprofits.
But instead there are nonprofits that are like, we're just trying to scratch it out, because if the DOD admits that what they were doing in Iraq and burning, you know, car batteries and aluminum and all this shit, then they're going to have to pay out a bunch of fucking money. So what my feeling and what makes me more angry than anything else is you want these wars, motherfuckers, and you want us to go out and fight them, but then you don't want to pay the full bill. So then they leave us with the tab. So not only, and they're stiffing us with the bill all the way around.
They're making us take care of ourselves.
So these old fucking elderly shitbag idiots like Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton and all these other fucking idiots, like no offense to George Bush, but that fucking dude never fought in a war and he had an opportunity to go to Vietnam. So he can fuck off too. So Dick Cheney, fucking George Bush, except for Senior, right? We all know Senior was in WW2, but Junior and all these other fucking retards, they want to take us to war. They want to move our taxpayer dollars from the taxpayer into the military industrial complex. They want to sacrifice all of our legs, all of our lives, and then we get stiffed with the rest of the fucking bill when our lungs are no longer usable, when we get these weird fucking cancers that we're coming up with. And then the thing that pisses me off is that people want to continue to vote these fucking idiots back into office over and over and over again. And then they get fucking pissed off because you got a bunch of guys that are pro-Trump. Trump is the only guy that's going, endless war is not a fucking option.
He's a pretty big anti-war president.
He is. He's going, endless war is not an option. And I'm like, I'm a special operations advocate. I love special operations because it's a fucking way for us to send commandos into battle to protect the nation without moving trillions of dollars.
Yeah, kill a bunch of bad people in the middle of the night and then call it a day.
It's the way it should be.
Done.
It's the way it should be. We should be dropping fucking bombs and killing and shooting fucking the right people in the face. And then we save the 18-year-olds. But then there's no MRAPs that need to be moved. There's no fucking tanks that need to be moved. There's no boats and fuel and ships and all this other bullshit. It's an inexpensive way to fight war. So nobody wants to do that. So nobody gets to line their fucking pockets. These greedy, sociopathic, elderly idiots need to get the fuck out of office. And we need to replace them with people that actually say, you know what, this is a legitimate cause. We have to send people into harm's way. But oh, by the way, we got to pay the full bill.
I don't think that the people that are sending young men and women to go die in wars necessarily understand war. I think their consumption of the war experience is merely based on like a face value Hollywood perspective, and they don't know the long-term effects or the fact that there's amputees out there and burn victims without 100% disability that can't even get into a fucking doctor's office to get a prosthetic. We're fucked up on that shit.
Well, Clint
that's
was
fucking
telling me,
disgusting.
Our buddy Clint was telling me that he's here in San Antonio when COVID hit. He couldn't get a new leg, so he had to go back to his chair for months on end. I'm like,
Mary Day just got told that her injury no longer warrants.
Did you see this shit?
Care. Like
Mary Day, our close fucking friend, dude.
She seriously goes, "What do you think? My fucking arms grew back."
She went, so she had a full-time caregiver. And excuse me, Mary, if I read the whole thread. So she had a full-time caregiver. She went and visited her family, correct?
For her birthday,
and they were taking care of her. And because she didn't need a full-time caregiver because her fucking family and her husband were there. Right. They said, you are no longer allowed to have a full-time caregiver. And she's like, I have no fucking arms. How do I put on makeup? How do I fucking eat? How do I wipe?
How do you wipe your ass?
At your ass? Like, and it's not even like, she's missing both of her fucking arms, man. But they're running her through the fucking ringer. Like someone needs to go in that office, fire whoever the fuck made that fucking decision down, saying you never get a fucking job to do with veterans or anything in the medical space ever again. And hire someone that's going to make a good fucking difference. It's fucking bullshit.
No, man, because you know why? Because our society is sick. Again, we want to have a conversation about who identifies as what and what sexual organs we have and what kind of sex we want to have. We want to have that social identity construct bullshit conversation versus a conversation about what's an ethical war. What is an ethical war? What is the ethical thing to do for the service members that have served in war?
But those are hard conversations that require critical thought rather than just going like, I want to be a fucking toilet bowl, identify as a toilet bowl.
We're not even policing our own and governing our own. You have people that sit on the Senate Armed Forces Committee and their spouse is the fucking holder in Halliburton. Yeah. Someone that's making the decision to give a contract to this company is married to the person. Like,
no. Hey, that doesn't matter, Jared, because if your son takes in, millions of dollars from China, we should vote that motherfucker back into office, right? Hey, there's nothing to see here.
It's like a bad reality TV show. You're like,
you're so fucking stupid. Wake the fuck up, America. Wake up.
Why?
Take a fucking Tylenol, fucking Dayquil, whatever. Get better, goddammit.
Wake him up.
When are they going to wake up? That's the thing that I guess that's the thing that I don't quite understand. This partisan politics where we can't look at the fact that Biden has cognitive decline. It is a fucking fact. Yeah. You can see it. You can see it from his first debates when he was running against Hillary in the primaries to right now.
You just have elder phobia.
You can
or
see it.
Geriatric
you have elder phobia.
Right.
You're being ageist.
His son is a fucking scumbag. His son is a fucking scumbag. He takes fucking millions of dollars, sits on boards that he has no fucking, literally zero experience to get on the board itself. Where is this money coming from? Why is his son taking this? And everybody's going, well, that's fine because he's the son of the vice president. That means that he hasn't broken any rules. There's nothing to see here. It's like, and my answer to that is, are you guys really serious? This is really fucked up. It's really corrupt. When is it correct that the sitting president can pull FISA warrants and use the FBI to provide surveillance and information on false information for use against the opponent? Like, it's really wrong. We should all be worried about America right now. This isn't a pro-Trump speech. We should all be worried about how sick this country is at the point of we would rather have a conversation about
who you fuck.
Then how do we get off this rock if there's another rock steaming towards it at light speed Like we have bigger issues that we have to discuss as an international community, as a nation, as a society. The other piece to this is it's a dumb fucking conversation. It's dumb. Like who the fuck cares? As long as you're not fucking kids, who the fuck cares what you identify
as? No one
as?
fucking cares.
And
no one cares.
The other point is the LGBTQRF C3PO community.
Yeah.
None of those people like each other, by the way.
No, they fight.
None of them like each other. Lesbians and gays typically don't even like each other. So why are they all lumped into the same fucking group is beyond me. They don't identify together. They don't like each other. And this is coming from, when I say this, like this is coming from that community. They don't hang out together. So even the other day I was listening to somebody describe, a gay guy describe the difference between gay and queer.
What the
and
fuck?
He
didn't even know?
No, he knew. He was talking in derogatory terms towards queers and gays. And I'm like, you guys don't even get along. And why are they lumping you all in the same fucking
but
rainbow?
it all comes back to who gives a flying fuck.
I don't understand.
Like, I love when Matt
point.
said that. I've never quite cared who you lay in your bed with. Like, no one fucking cares. Like,
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
Why are we having these conversations?
Yeah.
You know why?
It's a mask. If they can just get us to argue about abortion and fucking who you're fucking, then guess what? You can vote for your husband's fucking company to take a fucking $9 billion contract in Qatar.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's business as usual.
Yes.
Don't
Get
look
them
at
all
what's going on
fucking
because
stirred
hey,
up.
we want you guys to be so consumed with
Black
the LGBT.
Friday, new iPhones. That's
new-
it. Black Friday is a fucking social fucking
Post your black
Yeah.
square.
Yeah.
Be a BLM guy. Woke. Fucking cancel all this stuff. Like
It's just,
do
it's
all
the
this.
executives that start a fire out in the fucking parking lot, so the employees go to put it out and they steal a couple $100,000 from the fucking safe. Like that's what's happening, right? And everybody's like, the fire, we got to put out the fires. Like it's a dumpster. He'll burn out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, and
Let's
we
worry
just
about the big
continue
shit.
to ignore this. Like the military industrial complex, like Eisenhower warned us of this in the
Weird.
50s.
I know, and he was
In
a
the
military general
for 60
50s.
years. And we keep getting distracted by these shiny objects. And it's like, who's going to be the one that holds up the torch? It's like, this is what we need to pay attention to because the system is broken.
Yeah, I've thought about that a lot the last few months of like, are we going to see a leader, like a real leader, come out in the next 10 years or so? Because
God, I hope so.
I mean,
I hope so.
there's a lot of unraveling to do though.
I
Like
think-
social media is grotesquely damaged.
Well, that's the thing is like, I don't know that
culture.
anybody has the answer.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does. I think that you're going to have to develop an entirely different news system, which I think through podcasts and through
Digital
some
media,
forms
yeah.
of digital media, I do believe that will eventually evolve into the correct circumstance, meaning the national news networks, they're just trash, right? They're hyper-partisan. You're never going to get the actual information that you need in order to make a clear and concise decision.
This year, they've shown us that they
They're
purposely
completely
spin.
partisan.
Yeah, they completely push their own agenda,
Yep.
and it's horseshit.
You're
Well, and-
not.
but
You're
the
they're
format, right? The format for that. It's why when Tim Kennedy posted that about the Rogan stuff, like what a refreshing idea. And I know it's not going to happen, but to have a debate with the two potential leaders come in an upcoming election for the leader of the free world, for the nuclear button, and have a discussion together. Because guess what? Maybe Biden had some good shit to help out Trump. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like teamwork makes the dream work, right? So like, but having that fucking, not the conversations where it's you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. I don't care about your
No,
personal
who's
disagreements.
got a plan?
I give a fuck about how you're going to
Plan,
look out for the
plan.
American public, the Constitution, and take care of us, the people that voted you in power and pay your fucking salaries with their taxpayers' monies. Like, let's see that conversation happen, but we know it won't because everybody wants views on national news cycle, and it's just going to be a fucking predetermined questionnaire, and they're going to yell at each other.
The only Democratic candidate that I felt that came out with a platform of I have new ideas was Wang. Like everybody else was just fighting with each other.
Well, I
Like-
think if Tulsi Gabbard was, I think if she was even allowed, but she wasn't because she didn't fit into the.
That's what I mean.
The-
They
the-
fucked themselves with this. Like they could have.
I think it goes through both sides half the time. Yeah.
I don't understand it. I think from my perspective, people need to opt out. They need to opt out of the national news. They need to completely opt out of it. They need to get into a totally different news cycle. They need to tune in to different forms of media that are way more informative.
And bankrupt all of them.
Yeah, I think that's the only way it changes is by essentially stealing all their traffic.
You can't change behavioral patterns without a psychological impact or change. And I think as we condition people to be massively reactive and knee-jerk, it's like that's the content they want, because it's why reality TV did so good. It's like no one wants to watch history because it's fucking boring, right?
Unless it's about Nazis, then the History Channel is like all the Nazi channel.
Or aliens.
Right? Aliens. Yeah. The History Channel is now just Nazis and aliens, right? That's all it is.
What if there was Nazi aliens? That would be crazy.
Maybe
but
space communists.
In the last 6 months is you can't even present people with the real information and change their mind. You can't even go. I mean, I've been diving in a little bit just for entertainment.
Look at Trump's taxes. This is a great example. New York Times released this story about Trump. $750 in taxes or whatever. And it's like, no, when you dig into the story and actually read it, he's paid millions of dollars in taxes. His tax liability was $750. But he's paid millions of dollars. But the headline was completely false.
Oh, trust me. My post today is going to be like, if all you've done your entire life is roll into H&R Block and then you get a return, I don't want to hear your fucking opinion about taxes.
Well, it gives them the platform to say whatever they want because they hide it behind like, a trusted source or a confidential source, right? So it's like, well, who is saying that? But because the media is developed and formatted that way, you don't ever get like where this information is actually coming from.
Talking trash about war victims.
No, because they want him out of office so badly. And these are the same people, by the way, that continues to put us into endless war. They continue to transfer all of our taxpayer dollars from the taxpayer to the industries. And these are the same people. They want business as usual. And I think the sooner people wake up to this, say, okay, not all business is bad. We're in business. I would say that we're a very ethically run company. Obviously, we're biased. But when you have large corporate interests that are dependent on government subsidies and contracts, that's when things get there's a direct conflict of interest between the taxpayer and the business itself, because their job is to take dollars out of your pocket. Our job is to not do that. We don't have, I think we have fucking less than like 0.5% of our entire gross revenue is associated with any government contract, because one, I directly said from the beginning, I do not want to do business with the government anymore, period. It's straight up. I don't like doing business with the government. I don't want to do business with the government, but there are industries, and I think if people really start to wake up to this, like if there's an end to war, that means you don't sell any more Tomahawk missiles. Mm-hmm. There's a direct conflict of interest. If your business is fucking,
what does Raytheon?
What's Raytheon do? Right, so they have to find a new monetization strategy to grow their business, but they're funding think tanks. They're putting forward, new forms of technology. Everything that they do is to take what the taxpayers are making and then to go get that money and then put it back into their bank account. I don't know if people
understand. That's a very interesting model, because a lot of those companies, and we've seen them, it's like they'll be in R&D or biz dev for years and years and millions of dollars of debt and taking on PE firms to capitalize them. And then at the end state, the only way they become profitable is if they get a government contract. Correct. And it's like, in theory, sure, great, right? You have the best technology that the government uses to help the soldiers out on that side. Get it, got it, good. That's awesome. I want the best optic. Right. But in the same stance, they don't make money unless it's getting utilized. And there's obviously going to be conflicting interests and probably unethical practices around that arena, because you don't get paid unless the government needs it. And the government needs it when we go to war, and they need it at a very, very
they
high
do this
rate.
Shit right in front of our face, too. I mean, look at 2011 when every service went to their own fucking uniform. Why? Money. Because it just made industry.
Yeah,
four new fucking patterns.
But that's how the whole thing works, right? It's you climb through the system, you get promoted into a position where then you're appointed as a general, and then you get put onto a board, And then that board gives you, a healthy 6-figure salary for you to sit and have access essentially to people within the Pentagon. And then you'll have access and placement, and then you'll continue to increase the overall wealth of whatever company it is that you're working for because of your access, your placement, your experience. They know that's their exit, right? They know that's where they're going.
You start bringing up and promoting people underneath you that are going to eventually replace you. So then you still have that for them.
Well, and that's how
now when you're working in one of these agents, it's like, oh, let me pick up the phone.
Let me pick up the phone.
I've promoted this guy to 4.
I promoted this guy to, I gave him his star.
Yeah.
I
mean, Pentagon Wars is a perfect movie.
He blew me. He blew me. He was great. And that's the thing with these guys. And why do I have such a disdain for them? Because there is a conflict of interest between what we want, which is, I think, the general population of the enlisted men that have fought in these wars. We just kind of want to get our shit taken care of so we can move on with our life. It'd be awesome to get a great night's sleep, to raise our families, to be healthy and happy. Those are the things that we look forward to because the lion's share of the wars have been fought by guys like us. We're dealing with a lot more than I would say what, the standard field grade officer is dealing with. We don't, just pure numbers wise, a percentage of the overall burden was essentially fought by us. And then the exit strategy is for the enlisted guy. He doesn't get promoted into a position where he gets a really healthy kickback job for a big corporate entity where he can continue to plug into the military industrial complex.
Even senior E9s are lucky to get their first 6-figure job coming out of the military.
Right. And then what they want to do is go, oh, well, here you're disabled. Here's your antidepressants and your your wall of pills that you get to take every day for the rest of your life. Here's your shit, but just go off and don't do
conversation
anything.
With how many nonprofits exist in this veteran space. And there's obviously a national need for something because the DOD and the government's not covering down on it. So you have all these good-willed people that are taking their own time and no salaries and trying to impact the individual in the right way.
A few years ago when Wounded Warrior Project came out, and they had reported a couple $100 million they took in. I'm like, well, you guys got the money to hire and backfill the VA now because of that backlog that we saw 3 years ago. Yeah. Why don't you jump in and just start hiring people and fucking start going through these fucking cases and get them in doctors?
But that's a great example. I mean, let's be real. There's plenty of nonprofits out there that are based off of the efficacy and goodwill of people to donate their hard income to making a change. And then they run it like a fucking for-profit business and hide the numbers and become rich motherfuckers to sit on a nonprofit board. It's disgusting. That's why I was like, if you're ever going to donate, you have to go through you have to vet the organization. You got to. I mean, it's just, and if board members are getting paid,
how much you get paid to be on the board?
What's your salary?
What's your salary?
It's a whopping, usually about negative $20,000 because I donate about $20,000 a year in charity. And there's expectations on both of my boards to donate. I think, I won't say the exact number, but there's a couple $1,000s I have to donate or fund or raise to be a part of sitting on the boards that I do.
The same.
And I usually do a cash donation for me, helps on taxes, and I believe obviously I believe in it, so it comes from me. But yeah, no, you don't get paid to sit in a nonprofit board. If you are, I think if you're fucked up. There's going to be obviously operational components of the business. If you have a CEO and operations that are going to get compensated in some way or form. But yeah, if the majority and the lion's share, if they're not running 80% or higher of the cents out of the dollar going directly to the cause, you're fucked up.
But so my question for you is, how many years did you serve in the military?
4 in the military, 5
outside of that.
Outside.
Yeah. And how many field grade officers do you run into in the nonprofit world that are sitting on boards and really putting a lot of money into it, really putting a lot of time? How many field grade?
Well, there's one that sits on one of my boards. That's a former general, and he's rad. But other than that, not a lot.
Yeah.
It's mainly the NCOs, right? Because those guys have the opportunity, and you can base it off of okay, they spent longer in there and they went college, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to usually the NCOs looking out for their own, because that methodology of being a team leader and looking out for your guys is absolutely applied in a civilian sense of like, well, like no one's going to do anything. So I guess I'm up to bat. If not me, then who kind of fucking vibe.
Yeah. And it seems like, this conversation's becoming a lot of glasses half full sort of thing. But if we look at this as a trend, it seems like we need to get more people leading from the front who are actually a part of this, right? When you look at Biden, like a career politician, this guy's been in office since what, 73?
50 years.
73? Is that right? Like
longer than I've been alive.
Why do we expect him to come in and all of a sudden something's going to change? Like what? Is he a magician too with his weird leg hair? Is he going to pull some crazy fucking rabbit out of his hat that's going to fix everything all of a sudden?
It's such a good point, Logan, because any change requires leadership and a movement. And then you have like this whole woke movement, but they have no leaders, and they're in it for the wrong thing. But we need leaders in the community. It's just like, when you look at if the black community is really getting, shoved down, well, we need great black leaders, and like, let's have friendly conversations of how like as a nation, as Americans,
touch on that,
we can address that stuff. And it's so like convoluted right now, and it's pointing fingers. And I think it's across the spectrum in America with the veteran community, with these social movements.
And it's this tendency to be like, a potential new leader to come in, and everybody just wants to fucking attack. Like the initial thing that is happening right now is for people like the new Supreme Court nomination. Like we were talking about this yesterday. Like they're attacking the fact that she adopted two people. Kids from Haiti.
Yeah, they're calling her racist.
Yeah, no, they somehow morphed that into racist. But this is my fucking like since the BLM movement has started, we have not seen a mayor fired. We've not seen a district attorney held accountable for fucking bad judgments. We're just fighting the fucking cops. Like, why don't you hold the people that are fucking in charge of making policy and making change accountable? And if they're not doing their fucking job, like that shitbag piece of shit mayor from Portland that got 12 federal agents now blind, like that motherfucker should be strung out and hung in the middle of the fucking town.
Wait, 12 federal agents got blinded?
Yeah, by lasers.
Lasers.
Oh, fuck, really?
Like, so our government is telling
holy shit,
our people that we employ to do, hey, you have to go do this. And then they go to do to secure the city, and they come back blind because the fucking mayor is a piece of shit.
Jesus.
Like, but is he fired? Is he still holding his position? He absolutely is. He had to sell his condo because they started fucking that place up. So he had to move because riots came to his doorstep. Fuck that guy.
Jared, would you like to tell me how you really feel at this point?
I think that's the standard for most leaders, though, is they won't take accountability.
No.
They when you can shift the focus and shift the blame, they won't take accountability for their actions. They won't say, "Yeah, that's my issue."
Yeah, I really wanted my hair did.
The hair salon set me up.
What's that?
The Pelosi and the hair salon
they set me up. Well, now Feinstein,
bitch. You stupid bitch.
Now Feinstein was seen without her mask at a private airport, because all these fucking people are ultra wealthy too, because serving in politics should be one of those things that makes you really wealthy in America.
Your husband owns a big portion of Halliburton, Evan.
Yeah, exactly. And but there's nothing going on here. Both liberals and conservatives alike. Don't get me wrong. They equally need to fucking get dished out on this, which is they're partisan corporate interest controlled. People need to fucking wake up to this. They need to understand this. And when you have corporate interests directly related to the individuals that are holding office, there should be a fucking very strict mandate that you cannot profit from this. Feinstein was seen in the private airport, in her fucking private airport, without wearing a mask while she's telling her entire state of California, shut down your businesses. Don't go outside. If you wear a mask, we're going to fucking, pepper spray you and fucking, hook you up and put handcuffs on you and put you in a fucking box. And it's like, These people have lost their fucking
We're not even
minds.
listening to policy, though. Like, take Bernie for an example. Like, the governor said if you have over 50 cases of COVID in your county, masks are required. Kendall County has 3. Masks are still fucking required everywhere.
Right.
So why the fuck? No one even listens to the fucking policy anyway. It's just, let's all just be fucking stupid.
I saw a person the other day that was wearing a fucking knitted mask. A fucking knitted mask. In the airport.
Wait, like full knitted,
They're
like with holes in it.
They're like working
Straight
on
up.
the crochet
Okay, that's
I'm not
funny.
even
in the
fucking
airport.
around. It was a goddamn knitted mask, and she's wearing it in the fucking airport. And you're like, this is so fucking dumb. And we have to pretend like we're dumb like the rest of you. Like, oh, here comes my mask. Oh, it's a piece of fabric. Oh my God.
Well, I love it too.
Protect myself.
Do you people watch like me? Because I just been flying a decent amount, and it's like they like on the plane, they open a door, touch all this shit,
So
touch
stupid.
everything, and then they adjust their mask about 5 times,
So
like
stupid.
this, and then they go and open their wet wipe, and then they're like cleaning, and I'm like, so you just contaminated your mask, which is the thing on your face. So it's like it's just like this. It's like that feel good policy. I think that's like people do across the board in this nation of like, it feels good. It's like the anti-gun advocates. Well, it feels good. I don't want people. And you're like, you're just a fucking moron. You don't understand how this works.
I was flying Southwest and they fucking griped at me for not having it while I was sleeping. So I did this and that was okay.
Yeah.
It was perfect. They didn't fuck with me the rest of the flight.
Yeah,
that's
really
the
good.
knitted mask. I like that.
It is.
Wait.
Yeah.
I can feel my air through the other side,
that's
Jared.
it.
Like
It's not
COVID
about-
is the size of a goddamn bumblebee.
It's the COVID
I'm just
bee.
gonna wear a fucking beekeeper suit around. Like that people will be like, oh, he's really safe. He's protecting
Look at that
himself from
beekeeper.
COVID.
It's like the candy man when you breathe, the fucking bees come out of COVID.
I don't see, this is the thing that I don't understand.
We live in a video game, I swear.
No, this is a fucking Black Mirror episode.
No,
Yeah,
why do we have to
it's
pretend
worse
that
than
we're
that.
dumb like everybody else? Like I have to wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, and put a fucking piece of cloth on and
No,
go.
I tried it the other day. Somebody said, hey, you need your mask on. I just said, I'm trans. That was it. Like,
did it work?
yes, they didn't fucking talk to me anymore.
But I identify as somebody that's wearing a mask.
Yeah,
Got it.
I identify
Nailed it.
as someone wearing a mask.
I identify
As a mask wearer.
as a
right
mask
now.
wearer. I'm all good, dog.
I like that.
I get super concerned as to where
Where does this go?
does this
I
go?
know.
I don't know.
Because
I
we're
sit
all,
back and I'm like,
Not a good place.
Are we going to get, is there going to be like the news just one day? It's going to be, hey, no more, we're done with the mask thing.
Yeah, it's,
Or-
it's
or
called
is
the
it-
election. It's the election.
Well, yeah. I mean, everything's fucking haywire right now because they just want to create complete social unrest. Maybe they're that smart. I mean, if they're, I don't know.
I think the Democrats and the Republicans are really that smart. I think they've been in control for a long fucking time. I think that they've been in control for a long time. Like they have their news outlets, they've got their line in the sand, they understand what they're doing very well. And I think ultimately above them, you've got this going on, right?
Yeah,
and you've
it's
got
a-
Silicon Valley on one end,
It's a
and you've got
tactic
the
that's been
military
used
industrial
for
complex and
thousands
the
of
petroleum
years.
industry on the other.
It's controlling people through fear.
Yes.
You know, it used to be done through violence primarily.
Yeah, no,
but
it's
now
messaging.
Yeah.
it's messaging through fear, and this
Right.
thing, it's gonna get you. It's
gonna
gonna
get
get
you.
you.
This is
COVID's
Brazil.
going to get you.
Brazil's going to sneak up on us.
what?
Brazil, they own all our food. I think while we've been busy fucking off with all the fucking military shit and power and nuclear stuff, meanwhile, Brazil owns all our food. And it's like
Like what, the moo-moos in agriculture?
Well,
everything,
yeah,
chicken,
I was
beef,
thinking,
Brazil.
I was
Sneaking
thinking
up
about this the
Brazilian
other day.
steakhouses
I was
are
thinking about
delicious.
this the other day, which is, I don't want to interrupt your Brazil conversation because that's like
great.
It's a
super
podcast. We're
fucking
having fun.
interesting.
We're shooting the shit, talking shit.
I think it's a brilliant move.
I love Jared. Jared's president. We have to go after Brazil.
Yeah.
They've got the
Fuck
chickens.
Brazil.
They've got the food.
They've got the chickens,
we must
the
protect the
pollos.
food.
Bro,
Okay,
but I'm saying just walk with me on this for 1 second because I think there's a move there. Like they could all of a sudden claim that if they own almost the entire poultry industry in the United States, they could go, oh, there's this weird chicken disease, kill every chicken in every house. That puts us out of chicken for like 6 months.
Is this the same thing as the COD conversation we were
Yes,
having like
it's the
a
same
year
thing.
ago?
Has had a chicken for like 6 months.
But now do that with cattle. If we're out of meat, what the fuck? I mean, we ran out of toilet paper and fucking cities burned to the ground. If we run out of chicken.
I truly fucking hope, like I truly hope
I love it.
whatever chicken fantasy you got with Brazil, I just hope that it happens. I was thinking about this. I was like, so this is people being forced to live in this false reality, right?
In a
like
sense
the chick
of fear.
with the chick with the knitted mask that I saw in the fucking airport. That's okay. You got your fucking mask on. It's a knitted mask and she's wearing it, and that's okay. So we have to pretend like that's doing something.
Well, it's
and
the
I
whole
have
thing.
to pretend that.
Well, the airports too, man. They're like advocating for social distancing. All the chairs are marked off.
Yeah.
And then you get on the plane and you're
in a
nut to
together.
butt.
You're in a tube.
And then all seats are open and you're like, okay, we're either going all in on social distancing or we're going all back to normal, right? And I'm not saying that someone needs to decide that for me, but Jesus Christ,
I'm
man.
anti like the word social distancing. We invented this fucking stupid thing for this virus.
But
and
we
don't even know
invented
if it's
triggered and woke and social distancing and what all these other
Masks.
bullshit and
That
masks,
word
whatever it
wasn't even a
is.
thing.
But I'm just wondering. So play this out, right? And I'm just playing out the entire leftist agenda, the neo-progressive agenda, where it's open borders, free healthcare, free education, right? I'm just taking the top 3 lines. Open borders, free healthcare, free education. Because I'm reading signs, I was walking through like my neighborhood the other day, and it was, love is love. It's these signs in all these yards where it's love is love.
Who's saying love isn't love?
Nobody.
Like, is anybody in 2020 saying that?
I don't think so.
Here's something that's scary.
No,
it's like
it.
but it's the whole like. At what point is there like 2 gay dudes walking around and they're like, "That's not real love"?
No,
like
nobody
maybe like summon the bumfuck Egypt
this
keep
is
walking.
the boogeyman.
It's the boogeyman.
These neo-progressives are like, they think there's a bunch of super conservative people out there going, "What the fuck, bro? You can't be banging a dude." It's like most conservatives now are like, stay the fuck out of my business. I'll stay the fuck out of your business. It's a really good policy.
What is fucking
fuck whoever
scary?
you want to fuck, as long as they're not kids.
Yeah.
Fuck whoever the fuck you want to fuck. Identify as a Furby or a dog or a toilet or a horse, whatever the fuck you want to identify with. Just leave me the fuck alone.
and I don't have to conform to your fucking
and I don't have to
bullshit.
conform to this. But here's the thing I was thinking about is like, so open borders,
That's
free
the scary
healthcare,
one.
free education, right?
Those are the scary ones.
But they're also saying there's too many people on the planet. We're destroying our planet.
Yeah.
There's overpopulation. I'm like,
We're gonna
okay,
die in 12 years.
but okay, dummies, then why are you saying open borders if you're saying they're overpopulated and the United States needs to, increase our environmental regulations, clean the air and all these things. But at the same time, we also want to open the fucking borders and let everybody in.
Listen,
and like,
Evan,
okay, man.
I want all the vehicles in Texas by 2025 to be electric, and we're in an electric crisis. Thank you, California.
This instance, what's the larger? So let's take a big picture look at this. What is the larger thing that they're trying to push, which is government control? And if we look at the boiling the frog
Of course.
analogy, right? If you throw a frog in boiling water, it's going to jump right out, right? So if they institute all of these changes all at once, you're going to see revolutions. But if you put the frog in
Chip it away
lukewarm water
generation after
and then you
generation.
slowly turn that heat up, they're not going to notice,
It's the
right?
same
So
thing
this
that
is
we've been
exactly
saying
what's
about
going
gun
on with
rights.
the mask.
What's really scary
is that this is one step towards getting us to that new normal where we're all just okay with whatever the fuck the government says. Okay, well, that's the new normal now. And we got to fucking raise our hand and be like, no, this isn't acceptable.
Look at advertisements on TV right now. Regular commercials. The actors are wearing fucking masks.
Fuck yeah, they are.
This is a fucking messaging, fucking war from the inside.
Yes.
Like, and no purpose either. You're watching a fucking Target commercial with a mom and a dad inside their house wearing a fucking mask.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
No,
That's
it's
actually
We're
fucking-
being fucking programmed.
Yeah, it's fucking
And
crazy.
Brazil is behind it.
What's the same conversation we've had about the anti-gun lobbies? It's a slowly, it just chip that you can't come out and say fucking, every rifle's banned other than, a bolt action fucking Remington 700 for hunting, right? They can't do that. But what they do is they slowly chip it away, demonize the black rifle, and then just like claw it away every single fucking day until that tunnel's built into whatever crazy fucking life, because they need the guns away. And I'm not I sound like a dude wearing a tin hat right now, but this is like, if 10 years ago, I feel like I'd be like, chill out, Matt. But right now I'm like, if you start to see the chess pieces move, you're like, you got to be kind of dumb not to realize what the fuck these socialist,
could you imagine seeing a
motherfuckers
picture
are doing.
in 2015 of us like standing in front of the building in mass, and we'd be like,
what
the fuck is going on?
And,
like,
and how
the fuck
fast
happened?
has this happened?
Fucking took like 30 days.
Yeah.
6 months.
6 months.
6
That's
months.
it.
No, I think it's easier, right? It makes it easier for the corporate interests that ultimately control their two-party system and the media. It just makes it easier for them to take the money out of our pocket. So people just look at themselves as ultimately you're just slaves to the industry. And I think they need to look at the entire social economic fiber and say how they monetize, and ultimately how they're trying to monetize your work is they need to make it so they can just go into your bank account and take the money and put it into their account. That's all they're trying to do. They're just trying to bypass as many middlemen as they can. And so by forcing you into a circumstance where the government is controlled and ultimately they control the politicians, when I say they in the tin hat purest sense, it's not that. It's a wide variety of industry that will control policy and politicians, and then they write the legislation and the laws that make it easier for them to control
It's a power
what
grab.
we're doing. People would wake the fuck up and say, okay, first and foremost, let's pull back all of our fucking information laws. Like we got to take our information is ours. We have to take that away from the tech companies and the government. They don't own it. It's ours. They're monetizing our information, what we do with our phones, what we're doing with our computers, and they're taking that data, they're collecting it up, and they're monetizing it without our fucking permission. If we had the ability, and we do, if the people were in charge, and this is the thing, if they controlled the politicians, they would say, sorry, that's our information. We're taking it all back, and you can't fucking have it anymore. Because if you do, you got to pay for it. It's the same thing as a cable news or cable TV, which is, so let me get this straight. I'm going to pay you to put a fucking TV in my house.
Yeah, and then you're going to serve me ads.
And then you're going to serve me
But I pay
ads,
you
but I'm going
for-
to pay you per month to serve me
fucking
ads. And
lunacy.
by the
fucking lunacy.
No, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And
crazy.
we
It's
just
criminal.
we just fucking fell into it. Oh yeah, that sounds like a good deal.
So I'm
fucking $250 for Dish Network.
And
Yeah,
then-
fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay you.
Brazil.
Brazil. I'm gonna
Fucking
pay you. I'm gonna pay you to install a TV into my house. I'm gonna pay you more money
To get premium channels.
To get premium channels.
But you're selling ads on all
then
these
you're gonna
channels.
sell the ads to it, and you're gonna monetize on both ends.
Yeah, 30-minute
And oh, by the
program.
way,
How about 19 minutes?
19 minutes. And oh, by the way, I'm just supposed to be okay with that. I'm good with this. No, if people would fucking say no, and if they would run this through the people that they actually elect to say, you're going to do something about it. I'm sending you to Washington to change these fucking laws, instead of you work for your corporate master, you work for the fucking people master. I'm starting to sound like a Bernie at times like this, but this is the thing that where we all agree as a society,
that we're not okay with.
we're not okay with it. It's the left and the right. We're not okay with these fucking big corporate interests and the government having this much fucking control over us. It's where the people that want to smoke pot, marry whoever the fuck they want to marry, and are pro-gun, or everybody merges. where everybody merges and there's an extreme minority where it's like, no, I want the government to have more control over my life. I want Silicon Valley to have more access to inside my home without me knowing about it. Everybody agrees that's fucking wrong.
You're just a crazy
Everybody
person,
says no. And when I say everybody, I would say probably above 90% of us would all agree that it's not okay for Apple to be able to fucking monitor my conversation whenever they want. Everybody, 90% of American society would say, fuck off. The government shouldn't be able to, without a warrant, arrest me for whatever the fuck they want to and say, well, I'm just a goddamn terrorist because I said something that they didn't like. No, that's why we have the Bill of Rights. Like everybody would agree to that. Everybody would agree. You can't access my information. You can't fucking arrest me for literally any fabricated fucking reason you want to and just throw me in the terrorist bucket. You know what I mean? Say that's okay. Everybody agrees on these things. But the principle of this is don't capitulate your individual rights and just forfeit them to the government or corporate interests. Like, don't do it. Stop it. Please stop it. Wake up. Like, stop wearing your fucking knitted masks in the goddamn airport. They don't fucking work. Like, but we have to live. That's what I'm saying. We have to live in this fictional reality with these fucking crazy people that are like, that's a good mask. You know, your knitted mask.
Yeah.
You did it.
Oh my
You're
God.
blocking COVID all by yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, good job.
Fucking morons.
Do you need some water after that one? That was
That's
good.
a good one.
That's good.
Well,
He needs
the
a
good
fire
news
hose.
is
that man is spicy.
I think our government system is set up to instill these changes, right? This representative republic, right? Where we vote the people in who have our voice in their back pocket and they're going to go implement change. But it seems like this two-party system just ends up beating against each other. And then the real change just doesn't end up happening.
I mean, it's fair.
yeah.
I
Especially
mean,
with
to
the
be
woke
fair, I don't want them to make a lot of changes very fast.
Yeah.
To be fair, I do want them to grind it out a little bit. Like so I want people to go to Washington and represent the people. You know,
Yeah.
I really do. I was listening to the history of Exxon the other day, or the last couple of days. I've been listening to the history of Standard Oil and ExxonMobil. And they're talking about the lead up to the Iraq war and the kind of the post-war where they were having these windfall profits. And the CEO, which is Rex Tillerson at the time, who's also the former head of state or State Department guy for Trump, Secretary of State, there we go, is also friends with Putin because of their oil interests. And there's a lot of different things that are going around there as far as the information is concerned. But, you know, Exxon in itself, hundreds of billions of dollars, ExxonMobil. And they were making 20 billion plus quarter in profit, just this pure profit.
Damn.
But when we look at that corporation, just the corporation itself, when your corporation makes more money in profit than most countries' gross domestic product, so GDP or export, there's just no way that you can't have an international footprint and influence. There's just no way. You have to be influenced by the power of that corporation. And I don't think it's bad, by the way. I really don't. I don't think that it's bad because petroleum is the basis of our economy.
Yeah.
But what happens is now you have this like international product. You have a large corporation making hundreds of billions of dollars, and you have an uneducated society where they have zero ability to understand the petroleum market. Zero. They're completely ignorant in how it works. Oh my God. And it was really kind of a reality check for me because did any of you get a history lesson or a lesson itself on how the petroleum industry works? No.
Mm-mm.
You know how important it is to everyday life?
Yeah. I mean,
For everybody on the planet to understand. And there's a reason why nobody fucking really wants to educate the international community on how it fucking works. You know why?
Too much money in it.
There's too much fucking money in it. And if they keep you fucking dumb, then you really won't be able to regulate it. So you have a bunch of really smart people. And honestly, there's some great people in the petroleum industry, we know, and they have the best interest of humanity at heart. But there's also a huge percentage of the climate change in the petroleum industry, and they're going at it all the time, right? Because it's like, this is leading to climate change. You have climate deniers, and you have all these other, this really complex, heady, interesting conversation, and nobody knows how to participate in that conversation with a coherent and educated background. Nobody knows how to do it. So of course, everybody wants to be on this bandwagon of saying, man, I don't want the polar ice caps to melt and for our oceans to heat up and for the oceans not to be able to exchange oxygen and for all of us to fucking die. Nobody wants that. Like, I mean, maybe there's like 10 people on the planet that fucking want that, but those are just evil people. So how are you supposed to participate in this conversation in a way that is beneficial? Because nobody knows anything about the fucking industry. You can't. So Exxon's on one side saying, we don't know, or the entire petroleum industry. And then the other side is like, it's all your fault.
Yeah, but isn't that pretty much what we've had this whole conversation about? Whatever that subject is, there's the polarizing left and right, and the general society is somewhat in the middle of like, we all agree, but we don't know the best foot forward on this. And you can't really get the information to make an educated decision within reason, or people are too lazy to do it.
They're too lazy, or there's no funding for it, or the grants that are out there for the actual research itself that's being funded by the petroleum industry. It's a really complex conversation. But
yeah, and what if we have a chicken crisis?
Dude, I'm saying we're ignoring agriculture, and that's what's going to kill us. That is what's going to, the food thing, that's what's going to be the end of it.
I agree.
Yeah. Good thing you have chickens.
Yeah, I have some.
You've been preparing for this. I got an offer
from Brazil for my chickens, but I
No, that is probably the most terrifying thing. It's not like probably a disease necessarily, like a viral. It's going to be a food thing, because animals within the chain are far more susceptible to cross-pollination of a viral transaction, for lack of better terms. And yeah, it's like the swine flu. It's just like having hordes of cattle and chickens get infected and just massacred. Starvation.
Look at how we reacted when toilet paper ran out. If you take one thing out, and you could make everybody believe that it was a disease. There could be no disease. If you just took one thing out, fucking everybody panics, starts getting fucking crazy.
Toilet paper.
Like, yeah. That emptied the fucking shelves of everything in grocery stores across the country.
We talked about that when COVID first hit. You walk by and there's like canned beans everywhere, and then no toilet paper. You're like, I mean, whatever.
Vitamins, medicine, beans, rice, and then toilet paper. But that just proves how dumb people are. It just proves like you're living around a bunch of knitted mask motherfucking morons.
Well, I mean, the defense of that would be like they just wanted to make sure they could wipe their asses in the most,
I did the experiment by not using it one day, and it was fine.
Just hop right in the shower afterward.
I was like, okay, if we run out of toilet paper, what's this going to be like?
I bought a squirt gun and used it as a duvet.
Yeah,
there you go.
I painted a bullseye in my butthole, and I said, shoot it, Logan.
We should have started a duvet company.
Yeah.
Or a bidet.
A bidet.
Duvet is a cover for
you're right.
A small bed.
It's a duvet.
Yeah. Some people wear those as masks.
We should start seeing what we can get away with a mask.
Dude, I saw the best one I saw was an Uber driver, and he was wearing that the fake spider web stuff. I was like, I appreciate this. He's like, I'm glad you get it. Yeah, he's just being an asshole, and I like that.
I love those memes, like those memes where people are like wearing fucking paper bags on their heads and shit. It's like fucking hilarious.
Or the old guy that cuts his whitey tighty and just puts it over his face.
Someone did like a fake meme about that, where a guy couldn't get let into like a bar or something, and his wife just pulls down her panties, and he puts the panties on his mouth, and I was like, that's solid.
Yeah,
it is. Did that just gross you out? What was that?
No, I mean,
you live in like Utah. You're in the Texas sun. I can get that. It gets a little sweaty. I'm still cool with it.
I was just thinking about that. was thinking about the tidy whities, the old guys tidy whities.
Mm.
At the same time, you were describing
Instructor Earl wears tidy whities, I bet.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know. Those UDT shorts are pretty
we
short.
haven't seen Earl in a while.
No, and you get the
Bring that
Earl
guy
back.
I know.
We
got some good content coming
good
up.
things written for you in this new Halloween skit. I finally get my dream scene that I've wanted for so long.
Well, I'm not kissing you.
When have I ever wanted to kiss you?
I'm just saying that could be a dream scene that you're trying to get into. I don't know.
No, it's a dream sequence for Evan. We'll get into that. Yeah. But we got the Veterans vs. Horror Films 3 dropping. We're filming at this week.
What?
Thursday,
Friday.
Dang. Okay.
We pivoted on the other one just because.
You didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then Sci-Fi vs. Vets is pretty much wrapped up other than a little bit of the ending. We got another music video coming out. Yep. We got a sweet Black Rifle Friday commercial we're getting ready to film too.
Oh man.
We got a lot in the queue.
A lot of violence.
A lot of work
a lot
to
of
do.
Fake violence.
A lot of fake violence.
A lot of fake violence.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well,
this has been a great
been
a great show.
That was
Spicy.
everything.
We did it all.
We fought, we laughed, we cried, and I warned you all that Brazil is going to fucking be our demise.
I'm going to tape a can to my face.
Yeah, just like
let's start doing stupid.
It's my fucking face mask. There we go.
Oh, there we go. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Bye, Dave.